The courtroom is silent, the air so tense you can almost hear every breath. The cameras catch Jasmine Crockett leaning forward, eyes locked on Melania Trump. Across from her, the former First Lady shifts uneasily in her chair. Then, with a smirk, Jasmine breaks the silence. "Mrs. Trump," she begins, "are you ready to tell the truth today?" The words slice through the room like a blade. The gallery murmurs. Reporters scribble furiously. Melania glances toward her lawyers, but they offer no rescue. Judge's gavel taps once. Order must be kept. Billions of people have seen Melania as a distant, glamorous figure untouched by political crossfire. But Crockett knows something the public doesn't. That there are cracks in the facade, and one question, just one, can split it wide open. The tension builds, and then Jasmine drops the line that changes everything. What you're hiding isn't about you. It's about the man sitting at the center of this nation's deepest scandal. Gasps echo through the chamber. Cameras zoom in on Melania's frozen expression. Her lips part, but no sound comes out. The moment stretches like a lifetime. And then, with the entire courtroom waiting for her answer, Melania leans toward the microphone. What Crockett forced out of Melania left America stunned. But this wasn't just a courtroom exchange. It was a revelation destined to shake the foundations of Trump's empire. This wasn't a tabloid moment or a gossip headline. What unfolded in that courtroom cut straight into the core of American democracy. At stake wasn't just Melania's dignity, it was the truth about Donald Trump, a man whose empire had always survived on spectacle, intimidation, and denial. Rick Scott, Bill Nelson, and others had tried to rattle Jasmine Crockett before. They failed. But this was different. Facing Melania meant piercing the shield of silence that had protected Trump's image for years. And Crockett wasn't playing games. The question on the table wasn't small. It was about what Melania had witnessed inside Trump Tower. About documents, deals, and a family secret that even Trump's most loyal defenders couldn't spin away. The nation leaned in. The stakes were generational. Was America about to watch a dynasty collapse from within? And then there was Crockett herself. She wasn't just interrogating. She was representing millions who had been dismissed, silenced, or told their voices didn't matter. Every sharp, calm word she delivered became a mirror held up to the arrogance of the Trump brand. The clash didn't stay confined to the courtroom. Within minutes, clips began circulating online. The hashtags were already bubbling. Melania speaks, Crockett strikes, Trump truth. Twitter threads exploded. TikToks dissected Melania's body language. Late-night hosts were already scripting their opening monologues. This was about history and about the moment. Donald Trump's carefully curated empire of fear and control began to crumble in front of the entire world. To understand the magnitude of the moment, you need to understand the man at the center of it, Donald J. Trump. For decades, he projected himself as the ultimate dealmaker, the unshakable mogul, the untouchable politician. Towers bearing his name pierced the sky. Reality shows crafted the myth of his dominance. Even the White House itself became another stage for his brand. But beneath the gold-plated veneers and catchphrases lay a pattern America had seen before: arrogance, bluster, and a refusal to ever admit weakness. His career was littered with lawsuits, bankruptcies, and scandals that would have ended most men. Yet Trump survived them all by controlling the narrative, silencing critics, and making sure loyalty was rewarded above truth. For years, Melania was part of that narrative. The elegant First Lady, stoic and silent, standing beside him even in the darkest storms. But silence is not the same as strength. And silence, when pierced, can topple empires. By the time she sat in that courtroom, Trump was already facing mounting legal battles and political isolation. But his one unspoken strength was the belief that his family, especially Melania, would never turn against him, never expose what happened behind closed doors. Crockett knew that arrogance. She recognized it from 1,000 encounters with men who thought power was permanent. And so, when she leaned forward with that simple but devastating question, it wasn't just Melania who felt the weight. It was Donald Trump himself, watching the possibility of his empire's undoing in real time. Jasmine Crockett's rise was anything but smooth. A black woman from Dallas, she had to claw her way into every room of power. She wasn't born into privilege, didn't inherit networks of influence, and certainly didn't carry the name of a political dynasty. What she carried instead was grit, fire, and an unshakable sense of justice. From defending vulnerable clients in courtrooms to standing toe-to-toe with seasoned politicians, Crockett built a reputation: sharp, fearless and unwilling to be silenced. Her comebacks became viral clips. Her speeches, layered with both fire and substance, turned her into a rising star for a generation tired of polished phonies. She didn't just represent herself, she represented every outsider who'd ever been told to sit down, every immigrant's child who was told, "You don't belong here," every woman who had to fight twice as hard for half the recognition. By the time she walked into that courtroom, Crockett was more than a congresswoman. She was a force of nature, prepared to do what others tiptoed around, demand truth in a world built on deception. Her preparation was meticulous, her poise unshakable. And when she faced Melania Trump, she knew exactly how to cut through the fog of excuses and rehearsed lines. Tease, she wasn't there to embarrass Melania, she was there to expose a truth that could no longer be buried. The moment Melania opens her mouth, the atmosphere shifts. I don't know what you mean, she begins, her accent heavy, her tone trembling. Crockett doesn't blink. Mrs. Trump, let me be clear. I'm not asking about rumors. I'm asking what you have personally seen behind closed doors. In Trump Tower in Mar-a-Lago during the campaign, did Donald Trump ever instruct you to remain silent about things you knew could damage him? The gallery gasps. Melania's attorney tries to object, but the judge motions for her to answer. Melania swallows hard, eyes darting between Crockett and the cameras. Sometimes he asks me not to speak, she admits softly. That single sentence ignites the room. Crockett leans in. Not to speak about what, Mrs. Trump? About business deals? About legal risks? Or about his behavior inside your own home? For the first time, Melania looks shaken. Her carefully rehearsed calm starts to crack. She whispers something to her lawyer, but it's too late. Crockett has cornered her. You see, Mrs. Trump, Crockett presses, her voice steady but sharp. The truth has a way of surfacing, and the American people deserve to know whether silence was freely chosen or enforced by intimidation. The judge bangs his gavel for order as whispers ripple through the crowd. Melania exhales slowly, knowing the next words will change everything. And then, almost inaudibly, she admits, he doesn't want people to know how he really is at home. The room freezes. Reporters' jaws drop. Crockett doesn't waste the moment. Let the record show, she declares firmly, that Mrs. Trump has confirmed her husband intentionally suppresses truths about his behavior. Melania's lawyer objects again, but it's too late. The damage is done. Crockett turns her gaze directly toward the gallery, almost addressing the nation itself. For years, she says, we've been told that power means privilege, that wealth means immunity, that a family name can shield you from accountability. But here, in this courtroom, the truth has been forced into the light. Not by rumor, not by spin, but by the words of the woman who knows him best. Melania sits silently, her hands clasped tightly, visibly shaken. Crockett delivers the final blow. The American people can forgive many things, but they will never forgive lies that corrode trust, silence that enables abuse, or arrogance that tramples justice. Mrs. Trump, and whether you meant to or not, you've just revealed that Donald Trump fears only one thing, the truth. The gallery erupts. Cameras flash like lightning. Even the judge struggles to maintain order. It isn't just a courtroom moment anymore. It's history. Within hours, the internet explodes. Hashtags trend worldwide. Ye Melania confession. Trump exposed. Crockett power. Clips of Melania's words flood TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Late-night shows open with Crockett's exchange. Editorials declare it the moment the Trump dynasty cracked. Trump himself reportedly erupts in fury behind closed doors. Sources whisper of shouting matches. Phone calls to lawyers, frantic damage control. But the genie is out of the bottle, and no amount of spin can put it back. For Melania, whispers of sympathy circulate. Some see her as a victim trapped by a domineering figure. Others criticize her for years of silence. But either way, she's no longer just a quiet figure at Trump's side. She's the woman who confirmed his fear of the truth. And Crockett, her star rises even higher. In a single exchange, she cements her place in political history as the woman who cornered the uncornerable. By the next morning, the narrative is clear. Jasmine Crockett forced open a door Trump had spent decades keeping shut. The once invincible empire looks fractured, vulnerable, exposed. For Americans watching at home, it wasn't just political theater, it was a revelation. A reminder that even the most powerful can't hide forever. Crockett issues no gloating statement. Instead, she simply tells reporters outside the courthouse, This was never about humiliating anyone. This was about truth, and the truth will always win. The crowd cheers. The clip goes viral, and Donald Trump, for once, remains silent. The courtroom lights dim, but the impact echoes far beyond those walls. Crockett stood her ground. Melania spoke words she could never take back. And Trump's empire, well, it may never recover. Now America faces the real question. If even Melania's silence has cracked, what comes next? Will more voices rise? Will more secrets spill? One thing's certain, history has turned a page. If you found this breakdown powerful, don't scroll away. Subscribe now for more truth-revealing moments, courtroom showdowns, and political drama that the mainstream won't tell you. Because this isn't just news. This is history unfolding in real time.